Okay, for our next item, I'm going to work with some puff pastry to make the palmiers. Now, puff pastry is kind of neat stuff. It's layers of butter and dough, basically. And the way it's made is you make a flour and water dough. You roll it out, you put a big block of butter in the middle of it, you fold it over, and then you fold it over, you roll it, you fold it over again. Every once in a while you got to stop working with it and put it in the refrigerator for an hour. And in general, it's a lot of work to make your own puff pastry. So I go with one of my favorite chefs, Gordon Ramsay, who once said the first rule of working with puff pastry is don't make it yourself. And if he doesn't want to make it himself, I surely don't want to make it myself. So I'll listen to him on that one. So you can get puff pastry. It's in the freezer section. At most grocery stores will have it in the freezer section. Usually Pepperidge Farm is the brand they'll have. And it comes folded up, but you thaw it in the refrigerator and then you can unfold it. And you'll end up with a sheet about this size. Let me go ahead and pull the paper off. The thing about it is it is a little touchy. You want to work with it at just the right temperature. If it's too cold, it'll crack if you try to work it. If it's too warm, it'll just kind of melt and get slimy and not be easy stuff to work. This stuff here I had in the refrigerator right before I brought it out. That's one of the reasons why I had to sneak him back, because I couldn't have it sitting out on the other early part because it would be unworkable. So we're going to take this, lay it down. We're going to dust it with a little bit of flour here like this. Flip it over. Dust it with just a little more flour. Then we're going to roll it out just a little bit, just to make it a little bit larger. And you don't want to use a lot of pressure, but you don't really need to. You just kind of gently roll it. Now I've seen a certain fellow on television who claims to be the scientific expert who swears up and down you can't roll puff pastry without ruining it. Well, I've done it my whole life and never had any problems with it puffing up. So I'm just going to keep on doing it. So we've increased the size of our puff pastry a little bit. And we're going to get a little honey mustard. You can either use a commercial honey mustard, or in this case, I've just mixed some Dijon mustard with a little honey. Come up with it's got a nice consistency. And we're going to go ahead and spread this on our pastry, nice and even. Okay, now I'm going to grab my Swiss cheese here, which we have sliced pretty thin, about like that. Probably a normal slice you'd get in the supermarket. And it doesn't have to be Swiss cheese. This could be Gouda, would work real nice with this. Pretty much any mild kind of cheese would work real well. I'm going to go ahead and cut those in half real quick. And we want to leave just a little channel up the middle there. Lay those down like that. Then we're going to go ahead and get some ham. And you need some nice thin sliced ham. I would go ahead and have the guys slice it at the deli counter or something, or get the pre-sliced, because you want a nice thin slice. Fontina cheese would be another good thing you could use with this. And instead of the ham, you could use prosciutto if you'd like. Although once again, you'd have to be careful to make sure that was cut very thin, otherwise it would be a little on the, it might be a little on the tough side. When you cook, you know, when you cook prosciutto, it tends to toughen up some. And frankly, you could use smoked turkey too. That would give you another flavor. Okay, so we have our ham laid out now. Now we're going to fold this approximately 1/6 of this in on itself, on each side. Okay, as you see, we've folded this in about 1/6 of the way. I'm going to go ahead and grab my trusty rolling pin again and just flatten it out a little bit. Make it nice and uniform. And we're going to fold it in on itself again. We're going to try to leave just a little bit of a channel there again. Once again, give it a quick roll. And then just fold it over. So it's like this. Now what we'd do is take that and pop it in the refrigerator for about an hour. Now, you can go ahead and clean some of this flour off a little bit. And we're going to work on the sweet palmier. For that, we're going to go ahead and get a little powdered sugar. And instead of using flour to keep the pastry from sticking, we're going to go ahead and use a coating of powdered sugar. And we're going to take another piece of our puff pastry here. Drop it down on the sugar. Oh. And we're going to once again coat the top of that. Now once again, we're going to take our rolling pin, roll it out a little bit. Now I'm going to do a classic one here, which is just using the sugar, but you could also spread a little marmalade on it at this point if you'd want, or a little raspberry jelly, something like that.
Or some cinnamon.
Or some cinnamon, yeah. That would actually be pretty good too. Now we're going to go ahead and fold these all the way till they're closed in the middle. Give them a quick roll, flatten them out a little bit. Spread them just a little bit. And go ahead and fold them toward the center again. Nope. We go ahead and roll them a little bit. I mean, you know, the neat thing about these is they're so basic and there's so many different things you can do with these. You know, you can really let your imagination run wild. Once again, we're going to pop this in the refrigerator for an hour. And now, in the usual way that cooking shows are done, we've just had a nice quick hour pass. Our Palmiers are nice and chilled. And we're going to go ahead and cut them. Now the sweet one, we're going to want to go ahead and do on parchment. So we lay these out, and we want to cut them about 3/8 inch thick. And we're going to lay them on our baking sheet here. Want to open up the tops just a little bit. The whole idea is to try to make these look like palm fronds. That's where the name Palmier came from. Yeah, we've sliced them, and now we're just laying them on the pan and opening up the front a little bit. Now, if these guys here, the savory ones, because of the cheese, I don't use the parchment paper, because what will happen is the cheese will stick to the parchment paper, and then you got to peel them off the paper, and that'll unfortunately break them apart usually. Much better off just greasing the pan for those. Greasing and lightly flouring the pan. Now these, once again, we're going to cut about 3/8 of an inch thick. Go ahead and lay them out again. Open up the tops a little bit. So now I've got them laid out like this, and we would go pop those in the oven. And in a conventional oven would go about 425 degrees, and they would take approximately 15 to 20 minutes, depending on your oven. You just want to cook them till they're nice and puffed and golden brown. I like to make sure they're pretty much on the brown side, because puff pastry will puff up, it'll look kind of done, but then when you let it sit, it'll get real limp if you don't thoroughly bake it. So you want to get a nice brown color to them. So those are your palmiers.